Hello everyone, back tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. For today's second video, it takes to the 6th of July. So we've got quite a lot of hot weather across the western parts of Europe at the moment. As we know, record-breaking heat through Spain, France and into Germany. So that's going to be with us for the next few days. We are going to tap into that heat as we get through to the end of the week and into the weekend. Just briefly, I mean, it's pushed away on Sunday. Big question mark about how hot it gets on Friday and Saturday afternoons. More about that later in the video. And then next week looks like it'll be quite nice with a ridge of high pressure sort of building in across the country or close to the country, giving a fair amount of fine weather, but not overly warm. I'll talk you through what's happening in the next week, 10 days and beyond as we go through the video. Now, the 5-day forecast has been released. That's having a detailed look at the weather the next 5 days. And it looks as though, yes, it is going to get hotter as we get to the end of the week and into the weekend. There are though question marks about how hot it gets, particularly on Saturday afternoon. After that, it gets cooler and fresher. Have a look at the 5-day forecast and see what's going on there. One final update for Glastonbury. I know a lot of people are already down at Glastonbury today, but some people will be going later tomorrow and possibly even on Friday. So for those that are going down Glasgow a little bit later, you've got a final update coming up for you this evening. Right, before I do anything else, I'm going to say a big thank you to our latest donor. So I've had a donation come through PayPal. This person would rather stay anonymous. So you know who you are, and just say a big thank you to Anonymous for their donation. Very, very kind of you to do that. So if you would like to become a donor for GazOffice, all you need to do is come to the GazOffice PayPal page, sign into your PayPal account, and give a donation to GazOffice. You get a mention in the videos if you want one. If you'd rather stay anonymous, as Anonymous has done today, then all you need to do is leave a little message with your donation. And we're happy to do that. We'll still say thank you very much because I think you deserve that, but we'll do it anonymously as we've just done a moment ago. So again, big thank you to Anonymous for your donation. There's also Patreon, so if you would like to become a patron for GazOffice, all you need to do come to GazOffice's Patreon page. Got 64 patrons now, so big thank you to our 64 patrons. And with this, you just sign up for a Patreon account, and then you can pledge an ongoing monthly donation from $1 a month upwards to GazOffice. By doing that, you become a patron of GazOffice, and again, you'll get a mention in videos. We'll say thank you so much for doing that. So big thank you to all of our patrons. Big thank you to all of our donors, and a special thank you today to Anonymous for your donation. Right, let's get on video then and start off by having a look at the upper air temperatures in terms of the GFS ensembles. So, what a chart this is. This is for London. The red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Look how high we are at the moment. Already very warm with the upper air temperatures, but not necessarily reflecting that on the surface due to having a lot of cloud and an easy wind. But we're going to get rid of a lot of this cloud over the next few hours. So tomorrow will be much sunnier and it will be a lot warmer as well tomorrow, with temperatures going into the mid-20s Celsius. But we don't stop there. By the end of the week and into weekend, we're going up to 20 degrees at 850 HPA in London on Saturday. That, in theory, would normally get us into the mid-30s Celsius, but temperature's just been paid back a little bit. However, I'm going to show you some model output data in a moment that does suggest Saturday afternoon might turn very hot in the southeastern corner. Only very briefly, though. Then we got this decline in temperature through Sunday, and by the time you get through to the early part of next week, we've actually got a little bit cooler than average, can you believe? And as we go further through the first week and into the second week of July, upper air temperatures are sitting very close to average. What we can say as well is very, very dry conditions for the southeast corner. So look how dry it is over the rest of June. No more precipitation for June. And then through the first week and into the second week of July, yes, it's becoming, or it's staying very dry throughout the whole of that period. So, yeah, it looks as though we're going to be keeping dry anticyclonic conditions going for quite some time as we go through the next week or two. So that really is a very, very dry ensemble, actually. So after the deluge that we've had during June, it looks as though certainly the first 10 days at least of July are going to be much, much drier. Temperature anomalies from the 26th of June to the 4th of July, close to average. For the north, a little bit above average. For England and Wales, maybe ever so slightly below average, which is really, really bizarre, given that the period does encompass the 20 Celsius isotherm getting into England and Wales. I've never seen anything like this, where there's such a big disparity between what's happening in terms of the upper air temperatures and what's going on down on the surface in terms of what the GFS is forecasting. These anomaly charts are based on the GFS midnight run. So very, very odd that even though the 20 Celsius isotherm is moving into the UK in terms of the upper air temperatures, the actual temperature anomaly is slightly below average. But there we go, that's what the GFS is forecasting anyway. And very dry now. Look at this, precipitation anomalies from the 26th of June to the 4th of July are substantially drier than average, particularly so for England and Wales. That's how the GFS 6 o'clock run is looking for Saturday. So we've got high pressure centred to the east of the country, drifting away towards Germany. Low pressure's out in the Atlantic, and we are bringing up this hot southerly to southeast winds. There's our upper air temperatures with the 15 Celsius isotherm up to Shetland, and the 20 Celsius isotherm is across southern and southeastern parts of the country. Now, by the time we get through to Sunday, a cold front has moved across the country, turning winds back into the Atlantic, so temperatures lower, and it does become cooler and fresher. Upper air temperatures are cooling down on Sunday. Through to Monday, winds actually tried to turn northerly for the far north of Scotland, so that could bring some very cool air into the far north of Scotland. For England and Wales, it's not going to be too bad. We're under a little ridge of high pressure, so a lot of dry weather on offer for Monday. Look how much lower, though, the upper air temperatures are on Monday compared to Saturday. That's Tuesday, high pressure ridging in from off the Atlantic. That will give a lot of dry and pleasantly warm weather. I mean, we're not going to be talking about anything hot next week, but we'll be seeing temperatures kind of like low 20 Celsius with low humidity. Going to be very, very pleasant conditions, actually, I think, through the course of next week. Through the middle part of next week, we'll probably bring down some sort of cold front from the north. That could bring a band of showery rain and some cooler air again. But then the high pressure starts to build back in from off the Atlantic once more. So as we get up towards day 10, which is Saturday, the 6th of July, we're under a nice area of high pressure then. High pressure sitting almost at the top of the country. That will give us, again, pleasantly warm weather, sunny spells, temperatures low 20 Celsius, and with low humidity. That looks like a very nice sort of spell of weather. Into our extended range, this high pressure sticks very close to us, always centred just that little bit out to the west, so never a heat wave, never pulling up winds from the south or southeast, but just pleasantly warm with lots of dry and fine weather and quite a bit of sunshine too. And that's how we finish up at the end of the GFS 6 o'clock run. It's Friday the 12th of July, and also a little bit showery up in the north, but for the south of England and Wales, we're still very, very close to this ridge of high pressure, which does offer us a good deal of protection from the Atlantic and from those weather fronts from the Atlantic Ocean. So again, it's mainly dry with that, especially so for the south and the southwest. Now, this is how the GFS temperatures are looking. This is at the weather outlook. This is starting at midnight tonight, so relatively warm across most parts of the country. Forecast midnight night, but by 3 o'clock temperatures drop quite a bit. That's because the cloud is going to be melting and clearing away, so temperatures will fall down into single digits actually for central and northern parts of the country around 3 in the morning. By 6 o'clock, because the sun comes up very early, just past the longest day, so the sun's already rising by about 3 in the morning. And so by 6 in the morning, temperatures are already starting to lift up, going into double digits through most parts of the country. Through the course of tomorrow, things get warm. It's going to be a warmer day than today, but not excessively so. 3 o'clock in the afternoon from the GFS, we're kind of like forecasting 20, 19, 20 in the south and southeast, and possibly 26 across southwestern parts of Scotland. There is a 26 sticking out there. That's around 80 Fahrenheit. That's tomorrow. Then we go through to Friday. These are temperatures we're looking at on Friday afternoon. So, again, nothing particularly excessively warm or hot. Temperatures being forecast to be sort of low 20s across many parts of the country. Highest temperature looks like it's in the far west of Scotland, interestingly, and also on the Moray Firth, where it's going for kind of like 27 as the maximum. That's again around 80 Fahrenheit, it's 81 Fahrenheit. So the far north of the country gets the hottest temperatures on Friday, rather unusual and bizarrely, otherwise we're sort of low 20s Celsius. And then we go through to Saturday. This is kind of like the peak of the hot weather, of course, on Saturday. So on Saturday, the heat is much more focused on England and Wales. You can see that through the afternoon, it's kind of like going for maximums here from the Midlands in towards the southeast of England of around 26, 27 degrees. It looks like I've got a couple of 28s and 29s down towards London. So just under 30 degrees is kind of like the high temperature that the GFS model is forecasting for Saturday around London, which, given again we've got 20 Celsius isotherm sitting across England and Wales, is a very low maximum temperature. I mean, it sounds quite hot. It's kind of like around mid-80s Fahrenheit, which does sound pretty hot. It is pretty hot for our country, but given the upper air temperature, you would expect to be quite a lot hotter than that usually. Anyway, that's what the GFS is showing, but this is a more higher resolution model. This is the Arpege model. Again, this from the Weather Outlook. Again, starting at midnight tonight, quite a chilly night coming up as the skies clear. Temperatures fall down into single digits. Through the course of tomorrow, they start to rise up. So the maximum being forecast tomorrow afternoon from Arpege is kind of like going up to, and it's interesting, it's down towards the southwestern part of the country, going up to around 25 or 26 in the southwestern corner. But generally it is the west that's warmer tomorrow. Temperatures further through central eastern parts of the country, a little bit on the modest side, sort of low 20s. Now if we go through into sort of Thursday night, Friday, that's how things are looking. So again, Friday we see that warmer but going through the day. Temperatures are going higher on Friday. Again, the hottest temperatures are in this southwest corner, and on Friday Arpege is getting us to very close to 30 degrees. So I don't think it quite gets it to 30 degrees, but it's certainly close to it. We've got 27s, 28s, 29s here down in the southwestern corner. Also, it looks like there is a 30 degrees, interestingly, across the northwest of England, just there. Maybe you can't see that, but it is getting it to 30 degrees just there, kind of like on the borders between Scotland and England. That's 86 Fahrenheit. So it is a bit hotter with the temperature on Friday, Arpege, compared to what the GFS was showing. And then we go through to Saturday, which of course Saturday is the peak of the heat wave. Let's see how hot Arpege gets it. Well, already by 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, Arpege is forecasting temperatures to reach 30 degrees in the south and southeast. That's 11 o'clock in the morning. The GFS never gets to 30 degrees at any point through Saturday. And then it gets even hotter through Saturday afternoon. So this looks more like what you'd expect to see, really, with a 20 Celsius isotherm being involved. We're at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. It's showing 31 to 33 through the Midlands. That's 88 to 92 Fahrenheit. Going down towards London, it's actually showing 33, 34. So that's getting closer to what I'd expect, really, with the 20 Celsius isotherm being involved. I'd expect temperatures to get in towards the mid-30s, in towards the mid-90s Fahrenheit. Just over the other side of the channel, look how hot it is. We've got those 37s, 38s, and 39 showing up just on the other side of the English Channel. Now, the English Channel will moderate the temperature to some degree, but we can see that it's very, very, very hot across the northern part of France. With that heat so very close on Saturday afternoon, I think temperatures could get as high as sort of 33, 34, maybe 35 somewhere in the southeast on Saturday afternoon. And as we go through the course of Saturday evening, well, very, very warm evening, of course. And then overnight, it's going to start to turn cooler and fresher from the west. Temperatures dropping down into the mid-teens Celsius. Sunday will be a cool and fresh day. So there's a big, big discrepancy there between the GFS, which is very, very modest with the temperature, and our pairs, which really is ramping up the heat potential by the time we get through to Saturday. We shall see how it pans out. But to me, with the 20 Celsius isotherm involved, with such intense heat just over the other side of the channel, I will think our pairs is more likely to be right for Saturday. It's a one-day wonder and then it's gone on Sunday, but Saturday could be a very hot day. This is how things are looking with the GEM. So again, we've got these hot southerly winds on Saturday. They turn westerly though as we go through into sunny, cooler and fresher air moving in on Sunday. Monday looks like that, and into Tuesday winds are turning northwesterly. Obviously it's a lot cooler by this point, and in the north anyway there would be showers, mainly dry I suppose down in the south, and then through next week the high pressure with the GEM generally sitting over just a little bit to west. There's a lot of dry weather on offer, pleasantly warm sunshine. That's how we look at day 10. Very nice looking chart. Temperatures with that will reach sort of the low 20s Celsius. Humidity would be low. There'll be plenty of sunny spells, and that's just classic UK sort of summer type weather with temperatures into the low 70s Fahrenheit, but feeling pleasantly warm in the sunshine. The ECM, again, we've got this hot weather on Saturday, these hot temperatures. The high then sort of collapses away on Sunday as a cold front moves through, introduces those cooler winds off the Atlantic. Early next week, we turn wind into the north, so it turns quite a lot cooler through the course of next week. But it's not long before we're back under high pressure by the middle of next week. Later on, the ECM start being just a little bit more unsettled than the other models, really. This is Saturday, 6th of July, when things are just beginning to turn more unsettled, especially so up in the north. Turning a little bit cooler and more showery up there. Down in the south, probably still just about hanging on to dry weather. But that does look a little bit more unsettled compared to the other models at day 10. These are the options we've got on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10. So we've got 14 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure over just ever so slightly to the west of us. That's bringing a lot of dry and fine weather. It's not hot, bringing in winds from the northwest, but it's pleasantly warm in the sunshine. Then we've got 10, including the operational run. That's a run we were just looking at, that have above average heights generally out to the northwest of us, below average heights up to the northeast, and so these are relatively cool and maybe a little bit more unsettled as well. There's 10 that have high pressure over and to the south of us. Low pressure is up to the north. They're flatter. A lot of dry weather for the south, but temperatures perhaps a little bit on the lowly side up in the north, and maybe a little bit showery in the north too. 9 have an area of high pressure almost centred over the top of the country. They're the best option. They're sending the jet stream north. They'd be the driest and hottest option if that's what you want. But these 8 just here, which does include the ECM control room, also looking quite good. They have above average heights over and a little bit to the east. So again, they'd be drawing up winds from a south or southeasterly direction, quite warm and dry with those. So a lot of options on the table for day 10. It's all down to a positioning of that ridge of high pressure, you'll notice, but there are various scenarios that are on the table at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we got. This is the 11th of July. 22 members of the ECM ensembles with below average heights to our northeast, below average heights in the middle of the Atlantic. They look rather cool and showery those 22. Then there's 17 with a blocking feature. Return of northern blocking out to the northwest of us. They're bringing cool north to northeasterly winds. There's 12, it is a minority option, but a proper summer weather with above average heights and area of high pressure centred right over top of the country. Jet streams going something like that, so obviously that's the driest and warmest option that we have on the table. Finally, the CFS V2 is looking like this. These are 500 millibar heights, and we broke it down into weekly periods. Our first weekly period takes us from the 26th of June to the 2nd of July. The coming week with above average heights over and to the west and north of the country, below average heights down to the south. So again, lots of dry weather on offer with those. And the high pressure goes on into week 2 now. This is the 3rd to the 9th of July with above average heights over top of the country. Will give a lot of dry, fine conditions. This is a little bit cooler compared to where we start off, but will be pleasantly warm in the sunshine. Week 3 also, lots of high pressure. This is the 10th to the 16th of July. Much more anticyclonic run from the CFS than we have for a little while. Above average heights, tending to be more towards our north. They'll be bringing in easterly winds. And possibly watch out for a fungi breakdown moving up from the south there around the middle of July. And then we go through to week 4 finally. And it all goes rather strange looking. We've got a ridge in the middle of the Atlantic. Low pressures up there, otherwise not much else to go on. I will think that's probably establishing a bit of a westerly flow and probably turning a bit cooler and a bit more unsettled. So we've got this uncertainty about how hot it's going to get. So that's the first thing to deal with. We've got to work out how hot it's going to get, particularly on Saturday. Saturday afternoon potentially gets very hot down in the southeast corner, but we have got the discrepancy between the GFS and the Aperge about how hot it's going to get on Saturday. To me, Aperge looks more like what I expect to happen, having the 20 Celsius ice film sitting across England and Wales. But we can't discount the other model output, of course. So we've got to work out what's happening there. And as we go beyond that, sort of into next week, doesn't look too bad. Looks like it's going to be quite a lot of dry weather on offer. Always driest in the south and west, always warmest there too. Temperatures just pleasant. I mean, nothing particularly exciting. Low 20s, Celsius, upper teens, low 20s, something like that. And feeling quite nice when the sun's out. Probably feeling a bit on the chilly side, if anything, if you're under cloud. And certainly night and mornings will probably be a little bit on the cool side too. And then where we go beyond that as we head further into July, I've already established from the ECM ensembles that there is a lot of discrepancy about what's going to happen there as we go kind of like into the second week of July. Quite uncertain. And that will be the focus of the videos, I suppose, as we go into next week. Right, so I'll be back with a final update for the Glastonbury Festival this evening, and then we're done with those, so that's it. So with that this evening, with that, that's all for now though, and thanks for watching.